All right, video number 2. And before we get into the next set of 9, I just want to share this spider chart. As you can see here, and as I point out repeatedly, we are living below the broken trend line, and it is cheerfully just going up to lifetime highs every day just beneath it. But that's our line now. It's a bizarre thing because it's resistance, but it also is ascending, which means you can make lifetime highs until the end of time and still be under that line. But it's an important guide. Also for you slope charts users, I'll just, it's kind of nice to show these little tricks and tips along the way, like we're doing. All right, so on to the next set of 9 short ideas. Axis Capital Holdings, AXS. And kind of a sloppy chart, I recognize that. But this is very long term. It goes back almost 20 years. And you can see, in fact, it didn't occur to me until just now, but I wonder if this is sort of an archy kind of things. Just for the hell of it. In fact, that's not really rainbow worthy, but I am just kind of curious how that does as an arc. Once again, let's pull out the old stretcher here and just do some of this in real time. Not really working, and not particularly useful either, I must say. So yeah, sometimes you just kind of eyeball it and just kind of see what works, but that doesn't really work with a curve, so forget it. Anyway, we've got this quartet of lower highs, so that's AXS. Here's Boeing, which had its own post today, BA, and this has been working on this right triangle here, and we are at the cusp, I tell you, of a potential breakdown there at 204.80. Beacon Roofing, BECN. Once again, we've got one of these repeated patterns, and we're well above the break point here. But, if you like to jump the gun, you might give it a try. Caterpillar, CAT. This one kind of spent its day reversing. It had earnings, and it behaved very strongly after that. It was earnings Friday morning, I guess, but it opened strong and then fell all day long until it was actually a small loss. But that's the topping pattern on that one. CDW is beneath this broken trend line, and it's not great, but we'll just put a horizontal right there as a bit of a guide. CI, Cigna. This one broke its wedge a while ago, and it's got this cool little situation where this horizontal was resistance, then briefly support, and now it's resistance again. CIT Group. Big tops here, and working on one here. And as I've said, the reason I kind of avoid arcs while they're still forming is because it makes it a little trickier to monkey around with the chart, in recent history. But I'll just leave it because it helps show what's going on there. Here's Cummins CMI, which is kind of at the terminal edge of this very, very long wedge. And it's still working inside this range here. And I would say the stop loss would be 244.20. And obviously a completed pattern would be beneath this lower bound, which also just happens to coincide with that trend line. Callon Petroleum, CPE, another energy one. Very pretty. Third major dome here, and already starting to turn tail. Deere, DE, down, even on a day like this, down 2.1%. And you can see here the pattern working, and here's the major break point down here, 320.12. Denny's, DENN, home of the Grand Slam breakfast. And my view is this pattern is very much like this one here. And so this is kind of the you are here moment. We're around about this section. Need to fail here to make it complete. Another eating joint, Dine Brands Global. What do they do? Applebee's. Oh my God, never been in one of those. IHOP. PE of 23. You got to sell a lot of scrambled eggs to cover that. But anyway, This is their topping pattern. They're working on that. I wonder if you can hear the snoring in the background. My favorite dog is snoring away. She usually does that on my show. Devon Energy, DVN. What can I say? I mean, look at that trend line. You know, how obvious can it get? I mean, good Lord. How obvious can it possibly get? Our old friend eHealth starting to turn away from its gorgeous Head and Shoulders pattern. Absolutely fantastic pattern. My goodness gracious me. Look at that thing. Ugh. Eastman Chemical, finally starting to kick in. You've seen this one many times. EMN, turning tail from this horizontal. Got dangerously close and then flipped to Dicky, as they say. I don't know if you ever heard that term. But yeah, I guess they did earnings Thursday night and it vomited all over itself on Friday. So that's cool. EQT, another energy-related one beneath that big old top. Fidelity National Financial, FNF, also at the top of this terminal wedge. Let's color that trend line. We'll make it a trend line of color, like so. There we are. Red trend lines matter. And then GBX, Greenbrier, down about 3 1/3% today. And thus concludes this chunk of 9.